Hello, my name is Cameron Manchester, and this is my presentation on the water rights. So this first became especially important in 1848 during the discovery of gold. That is when the whole problem kind of exploded, and everyone became concerned with who owns the water and where do we get it, and when there is water, does it belong to your neighbor? Does it belong to yourself, to California? So the two forms of water rights are the appropriative rights and the riparian rights. The appropriative rights is interesting because it's whoever gets there first. So that picture of the early bird gets the worm, so the early bird gets the water. Whoever gets there first is entitled to use it, and if you do not end up using it, then in a sense you lose the privilege to use that water. And the riparian rights are based on the English common law. It is when you buy the land, then you automatically get to own the water that runs into the land. When both of those rights are in conflict, the riparian rights always win out. So what I think is nice is that the rights belong to ultimately California as a whole. I think that it's really crucial that we do not think of ourselves as owning something that really has been freely given to us. And so as Californians, as a whole, whenever we use water, it doesn't really belong to us. It kind of belongs to California as a whole. So yes, giving California as a whole, the community, giving us all the water rights. And then the last thing that I have found interesting is how the United States reserves, like the national parks' rights to use the water, and that these national park rights are senior and kind of trump all of the other state claims to make sure that we can enjoy the beauty that our national parks and forests provide. So yeah, thank you.